Welcome to Science Meets Adventure, exploring nature's secret, the channel where science meets wonder, and where every mountain, cave, and coastline tells a story written by the Earth itself. Today, we journey to one of the most extraordinary places on the planet, a place where geology turns into music and nature becomes architecture. This is Fingal's Cave, on the remote island of Staffa, Scotland, the echoing basalt cathedral of the natural world. As our drone glides over the rugged cliffs of the inner Hebrides, the ocean below roars with timeless power. Rising from the Atlantic, like a myth come alive, Fingal's Cave is made entirely of geometric basalt columns, perfectly hexagonal, interlocking like honeycomb, as if some ancient god carved them by hand. But no sculptor shaped this masterpiece. It was fire, water, and time that built this cathedral. 60 million years ago, this part of the Earth was alive with volcanoes. Lava erupted through fissures in the crust, flooding the landscape in molten basalt. When that lava cooled, it began to contract, splitting into vertical cracks that formed long hexagonal columns, a geological phenomenon known as columnar jointing. The process was slow, precise, and magnificent. The same volcanic flow that created Fingal's Cave also formed the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland, more than 100 kilometers away, two sites connected by one ancient river of fire. As millions of years passed, the sea took over the work of shaping. Relentless Atlantic waves carved into the cliffs, chiseling the cave deeper and deeper, exposing the perfect pattern within. The result was something nature rarely achieves, symmetry so flawless it seems impossible, beauty born from chaos. Today, the cave stands 22 meters high and stretches 82 meters into the heart of the island. Inside, the ocean's breath turns to sound. As waves rush in, they force air through the columns, producing deep, resonant tones that echo like an organ played by the sea itself. It was this sound that captured the imagination of travelers centuries ago. When the German composer Felix Mendelssohn visited the cave in 1829, he was so moved by the haunting harmonies that he wrote his famous Hebrides Overture, also known as Fingal's Cave. The piece captures the rhythm of the waves and the solemn power of the stone chamber, a perfect example of how nature inspires art. Poets, painters, and even Queen Victoria later visited this remote place, all describing it as both mysterious and divine, a cathedral built by the earth for no one but itself. But Fingal's Cave is not frozen in time. It lives and breathes with the ocean. Each wave reshapes the stone. Each tide alters the music. The air inside smells of salt and moss. Seabirds nest on the cliffs above. The light that filters through the cave mouth changes by the minute, dancing on the wet basalt like stained glass. At low tide, you can hear a soft, rhythmic hum. At high tide, the roar is thunderous, a living symphony of water and rock. Even now, scientists come here to study how sound behaves in complex geological spaces. The way the hexagonal columns reflect and amplify sound waves teaches us about both the physics of resonance and the artistry of nature. Fingal's Cave is, in every sense, an intersection between science and poetry. Getting here, however, is an adventure of its own. Fingal's Cave lies on the island of Staffa, small, uninhabited, and wild, about 10 kilometers west of the Isle of Mull. There are no roads, no towns, only cliffs, grass, and seabirds. The only way to reach it is by boat, usually from Oban, Tobermory, or Fionfort. As the island comes into view, the sight is breathtaking. The columns rise straight out of the sea, dark and gleaming, like the walls of a fortress built for giants. On calm days, boats anchor near the entrance, and visitors can disembark onto a natural walkway of basalt steps, slick, uneven, but unforgettable. Each step brings you closer to the mouth of the cave, where the echo of the waves surrounds you completely. It feels like stepping into another world, one sculpted not for humans, but by forces far greater. The best time to visit is from late spring to early autumn, when the weather is more forgiving. Even then, the Atlantic can be unpredictable, and the wind carries the taste of salt and adventure. Wear sturdy shoes and waterproof gear, because once you set foot on Staffa, nature decides the terms. The island is small, but the experience is vast. Climb to the top for panoramic views of the surrounding Hebrides, green cliffs, endless blue ocean, and the silhouettes of Iona and Mull on the horizon. All around, puffins soar and dive, seals bask on the rocks, and dolphins break the waves in the distance. The sense of isolation is complete, yet deeply peaceful. You can't camp on Staffa itself, it's a protected nature reserve, but nearby Mull offers cozy lodges, eco-friendly campsites, and seaside cottages where you can rest after your journey. In the evenings, you might hear the same ocean that sings inside Fingal's cave, crashing softly against the shore. Local pubs serve fresh seafood, mussels, salmon, and scallops caught that very morning, along with a glass of smoky Scotch whiskey. In Tobermory, the harbor town painted in bright colors, travelers share stories of the sea while Celtic music fills the air. It's easy to imagine Mendelssohn himself sitting here centuries ago, notebook in hand, trying to capture the echo of that cave and melody. The legend of Fingal's cave stretches back even further than the music. Its name comes from the Celtic hero Fingal, or Fionn mac Cumhail, a giant warrior of Irish and Scottish folklore. According to myth, he built the Giant's Causeway as a bridge between Ireland and Scotland. Fingal's cave, then, was said to be the Scottish end of that bridge, broken and sunken into the sea. The story adds a layer of mythic connection, a bridge between worlds, between history and imagination. To the ancient Celts, the deep echoes of the cave were the voices of spirits, the whispers of the earth itself. Even now, standing in that shadowy chamber, it's hard not to feel a sense of the sacred. For scientists, however, the fascination lies not in myth, but in mechanism. Fingal's cave is a perfect case study in how cooling rates of lava create hexagonal formations. As basalt cools, it contracts evenly in all directions, forming patterns that minimize stress, most often hexagons. The same principle appears in dried mud cracks, turtle shells, and even the structure of honeycombs. Nature, it seems, loves efficiency and order. The cave's acoustics are equally fascinating. When the ocean surges in, the sound waves reflect off the columns and interfere with one another, creating complex standing waves. Depending on the tide, wind, and wave energy, the frequencies shift, turning the cave into a living instrument tuned by the sea. This blend of structure and sound is what makes Fingal's cave so captivating. It's not just a place to see, it's a place to feel and to hear. The longer you stay, the more your senses adjust. You start noticing the subtle harmonies, the pulse of the tide, the rhythm of the light. For a moment, you are no longer just a visitor, you are part of the music. Beyond its geological and acoustic wonders, Fingal's cave is also a sanctuary for wildlife. The cliffs above are nesting grounds for puffins, fulmars, and guillemots. In summer, the air fills with their calls, blending with the ocean's roar. Beneath the water, kelp forests sway with the current, sheltering crabs, fish, and starfish. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll spot a minke whale or a pod of dolphins passing by. The entire island forms part of Scotland's Loch na Keal National Scenic Area, a reminder that beauty and biodiversity often flourish where nature remains wild and untouched. Because of its ecological and cultural value, Fingal's Cave is protected by the National Trust for Scotland. Visitors are encouraged to tread lightly, to take nothing but photographs, and leave nothing behind. The cave has survived 60 million years of waves and weather. It deserves our respect and preservation. Every echo, every stone, is a page of Earth's story, one that we have the privilege to witness. Standing at the edge of the cave, with the Atlantic stretching endlessly before you, it's easy to understand why so many call this place sacred. The symmetry of the stone, the music of the sea, the legends of giants, all merge into something larger than life. Fingal's Cave reminds us that science and spirituality are not opposites, but reflections of the same truth, that our planet is alive, creative, and endlessly mysterious. As the tide rises, the echo deepens, and the cave sings once more. It's a voice from another age, ancient, powerful, and endlessly renewing. And as you turn to leave, that sound follows you, lingering in memory like the last note of a song that never truly ends. This is Science Meets Adventure, exploring nature's secret, where we uncover the wonders of our world, one breathtaking place at a time. If you enjoyed this journey into the echoing heart of Fingal's cave, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because there are still countless mysteries waiting beyond the horizon, where science meets soul and discovery never ends.